Well, here it is, the latest LEGO classic Volkswagen Beetle build from the Creator line. And let me tell you, this was a really fun build for me. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that because, hey, it's LEGO and you put parts together, therefore that's fun. It was actually surprising at many points when whole sub-assemblies came together and just how well they came together in unexpected ways based on kind of setting up that you do much earlier in the build. This has a lot of building involved that doesn't necessarily make sense at first, but then once you come to the next section and you add something else on, then it all just goes, and the seams fit together really well with building in so many different directions. Things like, for instance, the trunk lid here. This is done in two separate sections for obvious reasons, but they did a good job of making it kind of look like it is rounded over there. I mean, obviously this is a flat section right here, but good choices of parts, and I feel like it looks good, but the way that it actually connects on, it's hinged at the back, but everything comes down to very tight fitment. I mean, there's a little bit of gap down there, but it's a little bit, and this does open up, and it does hold itself in place, and it's got a couple of studs in there to really get it to seat properly. This whole area is actually covered up pretty well on the inside, given that it's an interior thing. I mean, even back here, that's nice with the slopes back here is your fuel tank, obviously. That is a printed VW logo for the fuel filler there. The spare tire is removable. This is probably the worst thing about the entire set here. You remove the spare tire and there's no floor beneath it. But, oh well. It's really not that big of a deal because you don't see it from the outside, and it works just fine, I think. This is really nice here. The side turn indicators, yeah, they're done with the relatively new little half round piece, little tile piece, and they've introduced that in the light bluish gray here, which is going to be super useful. They've also introduced, if we come around to the back, that same piece in trans orange here, which looks great in this position. So much of the shaping is nice. I like the bumper. We had VW Beetles, classic Beetles, in my family growing up. One even in a similar color to this. And so there are a lot of things that are nostalgic to me here that just seem pretty right. This is my favorite area, actually, back here. The way that this all came together, I don't think there's going to be any way for me to really show it to you properly here now, but the hood is able to open up, and I'll show you the inside of that. But these hinges here are actually hinged on the inside. They use the pieces that are like a 1x2 plate with a bar at either end in there to actually extend the position of the hinge here, and then this top part with the air vents and also the rear window, it's all assembled together. That sub-assembly comes in later and it just fits into place. It's got kind of little notches that just perfectly just fill up all the space and make it look like that was all done as one assembly that just kind of went together, similar to the trunk, but in this case it's two completely separate parts. This is not a print. This is actually a sticker here. Look at all the building on the side, and this whole thing is upside down here. That's actually done pretty well, but I actually prefer, for that style of build, I actually prefer what they've done with the seats, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this was pretty cool, and obviously there are a lot of the dark azure colored parts that have been introduced in that color for the very first time. Looking at the engine compartment, so much about that is right and good. I am very happy about that, especially the fan shroud. It's all so important. This just looks good to me. Got the couple of exhaust pipes coming out towards the rear. Yeah, they don't actually have an engine. The Boxer isn't approximated in there, but the accessories and such are, and I think they did a pretty good job. No, I think they did a very good job of that. You can also open up the doors, of course, and notice this pinches in from the side. You can see it down at the running boards, how there's a little bit of an angle there, which is perfect. The side view mirrors are adjustable, but you can get those pretty much where you want them to be. But yeah, the doors are brick built. That opens up, and then you get to experience the interior. To show you that better, I want to let some light in there, and in order to do that, I'm going to remove the roof, and I'll show you the details that are on the roof a little bit later on. But for right now, let's just take all of this off together. There we go. So yeah, the seats are built up nicely, especially the backs of them, and they are able to be folded forward to give you access to the back. And I'll show you this from a higher angle as well, so you can see more of the entirety of the interior. Too bad that piece right there, that bracket piece, had to be gray, but it's not that big of a deal. I like what they've done with the inside of the door. I can just almost smell that I think it was a rattan that was used to fill the seats on some of the older ones. I think you've got the e-brake right here, the shift lever, which looks pretty appropriate in its size and position. The steering wheel, maybe a little bit on the small side, but then again, a lot of the interior features are on the small side because they've got a relatively tall floor here. So the scale there is not ideal. But I think that given the space that was available to actually build in the interior, they used good proportions relative to everything together. It looks like I didn't put this seat down quite all the way. There we go. Let me go ahead and show you this from the top. So it's pretty consistent with the coverage of stuff that's actually detailed, even to the point of the insides. The liner along the side body panels there on the inside has the tan color in there. You can even take this rear seat, the whole bench seat, and make that angle forward to get a little bit of access back there. And this is just a picnic blanket. I'll show you the little separate stuff. But in there, maybe you can see just a little bit what I was talking about earlier with the 1x2 plates with the bar at either side. The black ones, the black pieces, those are what are holding up the hood, the top hinge for the hood. And then later on, you add on all of this back here, which is clipped onto these gray plates with the bar on the side. And it all just fits together, but yet you build this base part with the clips and with the gray pieces with bars on the side much earlier in the process. So it's just very satisfying when that all finally comes together. Other things that you build early on, relatively speaking, or you erect early on, these the B panels here, I believe, if I remember right, were done kind of separately, but you can see how that's building on the side, and then it just comes right up to a tile here. Just a lot of this goes together like a jigsaw puzzle in a really fun way, and many times unexpected. These are unexpected for me as well. Looking at the pictures, I thought that these were the existing parts that we've had for quite some time, but no, they're actually significantly smaller, kind of arched pieces than we've had before. So that was another nice surprise. And with the roof back on, obviously there's a surfboard up here and a cooler. The surfboard is kind of held in place with these rubber pieces, and you actually have to slide them along to get enough pressure against the surfboard to keep it from wanting to slide out. Just has a couple of Exoforce hands under there that just kind of hold that together, but it's a little bit tricky to get that lined up just right to where it's giving the correct amount. But the cooler is actually attached with a stud there with that jumper piece. The cooler itself was a delightfully nice build, pretty quick the way it goes together, but you can see studs on the top here for this side. This is identical except for the sticker. Studs on the top here. I think you can put that sticker on both sides also. They give you an extra. They give you some extra stickers in this. And then the top is done separately, and there's some stuff inside with some trans medium blue, not trans light blue, trans medium blue cheese wedge or slope pieces in there, and a couple of bottles and a can with a printed top. The surfboard is pretty nice, although I wish the front was just a little bit more rounded or pointed, one or the other. That's the only kind of down side of it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool accessory. And of course, if you want, you can take all this stuff off and leave it pretty plain. The exception, though, is this set of wood look planks, which unfortunately do not have the same medium as your underneath, and they do leave studs exposed. So if you want a completely plain roof look, you will need to get some different parts. The set also includes some extra tiles and stickers to make different license plates to go with different locales. And I did mention that there are some leftover stickers, and these are just the ones here. And you can see the number 16, the 14, the 13, and the 15. I just have one extra of each, unless I should have put the other 16 on the cooler as well. Nice build, fun build, and pretty decent size as well for the sake of scale there. The only one thing that I don't like about the look of this is the main side window there. It's just too square for me. I really wish they had done something to round that off just a bit, because I feel like it takes away some of the key personality of the Bug. It just had such rounded features, and these are kind of like the eyes when you look at it like a person. And they use the sticker on the side here at the back, and that helps quite a lot. But just here for the main window, just a little bit too mean, a little bit too geometric looking for me. Otherwise though, very happy looking at this on display, and I sure did enjoy building it. Let me know if you have any thoughts about it based on what you've seen here. Share your opinions in a comment down below. I appreciate your time and watching the video. I hope that I showed you what you wanted to see about this set. I'll talk to you again soon.